And the Don of the Hoop Collective. There he is. Where is he? Brian Windhorst. All right, download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to the Hoop Collective, by the way. Windy, the Warriors have the best record in basketball, and they're must-see TV every night. And they're on ESPN this evening playing the Celtics. But the real news here is that the team has begun ruling Klay Thompson out of upcoming games, which actually means he's getting close enough for it to even be a question. That's exciting. What's the latest on Klay Thompson that you're hearing?
Well, the fact that Klay Thompson did not come on this road trip, even though Steph Curry was on the edge of this record, tells you how serious he is about getting back. He wanted to stay back in San Francisco so he could be able to go with the Warriors G League team, continue to get live action practice. And look, I don't know what Klay Thompson is going to be when he comes back. But when you talk to people around the Warriors, they say he is not looking to make a ceremonial return. He wants to return and instantly be a significant addition. He wants to hit the ground running. Obviously, that's a big ask, being out 2 seasons, but there have been whispers in and around the Warriors these last 2-3 months that Klay is looking good. So when he does come back, I would have some reasonable expectations because he has them for himself.
You know, given what you just said, what can we realistically expect of him? And both sides of the floor, Windy. I'm not talking about getting your own shot, anything like that. But in the act of shooting the ball, I think he's probably the best shooter ever. If just the shooting of the ball, he's incredible and can get incredibly hot. And he's also a great defender. So both sides of the floor, what can we realistically expect?
Well, remember, he once had a game where he scored like 50 points and took like 9 dribbles. So I have no doubt that even if he's not 100% movement-wise, he's going to make shots. And with the Warriors and the way they operate their offense, they will generate him open shots. What will happen is as soon as he gets out on the court, the opposing team will applaud, and then they will immediately test him defensively. They will run him from one side of the court to the other, and he will take shots. We will see how he can trail defenders as a defender and how he can challenge shots. And then we'll get a good feel. But again, Klay has been preparing for that. He has been running around against teenage G Leaguers to get ready to play at the NBA speed, and we'll see when he comes back. I don't think he comes back on the court unless he thinks he can be relatively close to himself defensively.
Windy, meantime, Steph Curry, Klay's, the Splash Brothers, right now is playing at an incredible clip. And a lot of people are saying MVP, and then their former teammate KD the same thing. But I want to play you a clip of our friend and colleague Zach Lowe talking about the MVP race and how he hates its framing as a head-to-head matchup between Steph and KD. Watch this.
It's beyond stupid that we frame this as a two-man race. Like, Nikola Jokic is averaging 26.5 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 58% shooting, 66% on twos. Pick whatever advanced stat you want. Pick any advanced stat you want. Stop. Any advanced stat you want.
Yeah, get fired up, Zach.
He leads the NBA in every single one. He's on pace for the highest play. He's on pace for the highest player efficiency rating ever.
Hey, Windy, I know when I'm making an argument and I see the whole kind of group think, that means there's no real response, or else you just give a response. Does Zach have a point here? I know you think it was, last I checked, Steph's the MVP, but he makes a good case for Jokic.
Okay, look, there's 2 ways to have this discussion. One is, who should we argue about being the MVP? And 2, who is the leading case for the MVP? And if you want to argue with Zach will bring all of his ammunition, and it'll be a good back and forth. But we just had 1 week ago Tim Bontemps putting out his straw poll. He talked to 100 voters, not 100 guys on the street, not 100 people in his phone, 100 voters in 28 markets and across the world, the people that actually vote, and it wasn't even a discussion. Steph got 94 out of the 100 votes. Durant got 2. Jokic got none. This is the biggest landslide we have seen in the modern era at this point in the season. Does that mean that's where it's going to be in March? Of course not. Does that mean Nikola Jokic doesn't have a case? Of course not. But right now, the people who actually vote think Steph Curry is the MVP by a greater margin than Secretariat won the Belmont.
Yeah.
And that's just a reality. You can take it from there wherever you want to go.
Yeah, but people who actually vote throughout MVP history in all sports have been wrong from time to time, and spectacularly wrong at times. From what you're hearing quickly, is there any, because Jokic just won the award and people don't really believe he's the best player in the league, is there any of that going on?
You know, Steph's numbers this year are actually a little bit less than they were last year, but the Warriors are so great that it's overwhelming everybody. I think Durant should get more, more attention. I voted for Steph in this straw poll, and if I had to re-vote today, I'd probably vote for Durant more than just because I think Durant should be getting light on him, and that's not an insult to anybody. But it's a very intriguing race, and one thing that we're going to be seeing is that this year, team performance is going to matter more than ever, and right now the Warriors' team performance is carrying the day.
Fair enough. There he is, Brian Windhorst. Windy, always appreciate it when you jump on. Our NBA. Curry made history at Madison Square Garden last night, passing Ray Allen as the all-time three-point leader. We're joined now to discuss it by a man whose grandmother yells at him on my behalf, NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins. Well, she's a big boxing fan, right? Perk, after the game, Steph said he got Draymond and Iggy Rolexes to thank them for all the assists. So let me just start out by asking, what's the best gift a teammate ever gave you?
Well, one, KD didn't get a rollie, and I damn sure ain't get a rollie. I tell you that. It wasn't that top of the notch, but KG did. Kevin Garnett did give me a Louis backpack, my first one ever. That because I was so cheap, Max, I wasn't going to spend that type of money on a backpack. But he did give me my first one. That was my best gift, if I had to say I had one. I didn't get too many.
You could call it cheap, or you could call it smart. You needed a Louis Vuitton backpack for what? What are you going to? What are you keeping in there? Gold notes? You got a gold-plated notebook? All right.
Right.
Perk, it'll be an historical footnote, right? But the Warriors won the game, which of course means the Knicks lost it, right? Jim Dolan's perennial losers are on a 4-game skid and have lost 8 of 9. Is one supposed to be, wasn't this supposed to be the Bing Bong season? What happened?
No, it wasn't. And Max, look, last year you have to realize the Knicks were doing the hunting. This year they're getting hunted. And I'm not saying they was a title favorite or whatever, but team are strapping their boots up. And look, this is what's happening. The Knicks are getting exposed for not having a superstar. Although Julius Randle made improvements last year, most improved, all-star and all that, he's not a number 1 option. I don't even know if he's a number 2 option, and I'm a huge Julius Randle fan. So what's happening with the Knicks right now, it's not surprising to me because I tried to warn people before the season that they wouldn't be as good as they were last year.
So they signed Kemba and Fournier, the Knicks did, to add offense after last year's first-round playoff exit, which was actually one of their most successful seasons of the 21st century. I mean, Dolan's Knicks have been pathetic. Anyway, Fournier has struggled and Kemba's been benched. This team have a chance to get right, Perk?
No, they don't. Because here's the thing. I watched Evan Fournier a lot along with Kemba Walker. Even if Kemba does get inserted back into rotation, he's not moving the needle. I think right now what the Knicks have to do is that they have to move some pieces and try to land something else. Because right now this team just don't have it. And it's not no knock on anybody. It's not a knock on R.J. Barrett or Julius Randle. It's just that they're not them guys. And until they get them guys with the way that the East has reloaded and you talking about a lot of organizations has gotten better in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks, they the ones that didn't. Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker just not moving the needle like that.
Yeah, it's been great under Dolan, this Knicks franchise. In Brooklyn last night, on the other hand, Kevin Durant went for 34, 13, and 11 assists in a win over the Raptors. Now, the Nets, largely thanks to KD's MVP caliber play, have the best record in the East. So beating the Raps isn't normally a big deal, except the Nets had 7 players in the COVID protocol. They were missing 3 starters, and Joe Harris, and of course, Kyrie Irving. So, Perk, the man is averaging 41 a game, 41 over his last 3, KD. Can you put his play this season in perspective for us? Is anybody even close to him right now?
No. And last night proved it. And I don't want to hear that they were facing the Toronto Raptors. No, they were almost close to not having enough players. And all of a sudden they called up some of them young guys and KD said, come on. And this reminds me, Max, of when KD won his MVP in Oklahoma when I was playing with him when Russell Westbrook went out. We see what he's capable of doing without playing with other stars. We already know that he's going to get buckets, but now we're seeing him get those boards. And the most important thing, making guys around him better. We saw KD last night. What did he do? He slid to the point guard position and flourished well. What, he issue out 11 assists last night? I'm just saying, he's the MVP frontrunner.
You know, first, the scoring was always there. Then came the defense. Then came another level of basketball IQ and passing with the Warriors. And at this point, oh my God.